The Art Director's Debrief. The Three Musketeers, Number 5. The Queen's Secret and the Diamond Conspiracy. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotive archive. In our last debrief, we analyzed D'Artagnan's brilliant mousetrap, a maneuver that elevated him from a mere recruit to a trusted operative in the Queen's faction. Today, we delve into the reason why that trust is so critical. We will declassify the central conspiracy of the novel's first act, the prolifically explosive affair between Anne of Austria, the Queen of France, and George Villiers, the Duke of Buckingham, Prime Minister of England. Chapters 11 through 13 are a masterclass in weaving romance and political thriller together. We will analyze the secret meeting, the compromising gift, and the tragic turning of an ordinary man into an enemy agent. This is the anatomy of a royal intrigue. The section begins by solidifying the bond between our two key operatives on the ground, D'Artagnan and Constance Bonacieux. Their relationship is a complex blend of burgeoning romance and professional necessity. D'Artagnan is drawn to her beauty and courage, while Constance recognizes in him the one man with the skill and loyalty to execute a mission of the highest importance. Her decision to lead him through the secret passages of the Louvre is a profound act of trust. From an espionage perspective, she is bringing a new, unvetted agent into the very heart of their operation, revealing secure routes and clandestine procedures. This is a high-risk gamble, but one she is forced to make out of desperation. The atmosphere Dumas creates is one of pure spycraft. Dark corridors, hidden doors, whispered conversations. This is the hidden world that exists just beneath the glittering surface of the royal court. The climax of this build-up is the secret meeting between Queen Anne and the Duke of Buckingham. This scene is not merely a lover's rendezvous, it is a high-level diplomatic incident with catastrophic potential. The Queen of France is meeting in secret with the de facto ruler of an enemy nation. The political implications are immense. Buckingham's arrogance and passion are on full display. He has risked everything to be there, not just for love, but also for the political thrill of infiltrating his rival's territory. The Queen, in turn, is a portrait of tragic love and political powerlessness. She is trapped in a loveless marriage to a weak king, and is constantly under the surveillance of her political enemy, the Cardinal. Her love for Buckingham is genuine, but it is also her greatest vulnerability. The transaction that takes place is the centerpiece of the conspiracy, the giving of the 12 diamond studs. This is not just a gift, it is a catastrophic error in judgment, a fatal security breach. In the world of espionage, this is the equivalent of a high-level official giving a sensitive state secret to a foreign power. The diamonds, a gift from her own husband, the King of France, are now in the hands of the leader of England. They are a tangible, irrefutable proof of her treason. They are, in essence, a compromat, a piece of compromising material that, if revealed, could lead to her public disgrace, her repudiation by the king, and could even serve as a pretext for open war between France and England. The Queen's decision to give away the diamonds is an act of desperate love, but it is also an act of profound political naivety. While the Queen's faction is making this fatal error, the Cardinal's network is already in motion. Chapter 13 gives us a chilling look into the Cardinal's methods, as seen through the interrogation and turning of Monsieur Bonacieux. This is a masterful depiction of how an intelligence agency recruits an asset. The Cardinal does not use physical torture. He uses a far more effective tool, psychological manipulation. First, Bonacieux is arrested and thrown into the Bastille, an act designed to terrify him and break his spirit. Then he is brought before the Cardinal himself. Richelieu does not appear as a tyrant, but as a calm, reasonable, and almost fatherly figure. He speaks of the national interest, of the dangers facing France, of the Queen's Spanish sympathies. He skillfully reframes his own political ambition as a patriotic duty. He flatters the timid Bonacieux, making him feel important as if he were being recruited into a noble cause. He creates a narrative where betraying his wife is not an act of treason, but an act of patriotism. By the end of the interview, the terrified and flattered Bonacieux has been completely turned. He leaves not as a prisoner, but as a newly minted spy for the Cardinal, ready to betray his own wife and the queen she serves. This scene is a timeless lesson in the psychology of recruitment, showing how fear, flattery, and a twisted sense of patriotism can turn an ordinary man into an instrument of the state. The stage is now set for a direct confrontation, with D'Artagnan as the Queen's champion and Monsieur Bonacieux as the Cardinal's unwitting pawn.
Now that we have analyzed the events within the text, let us elevate our analysis and place this 17th century intrigue into a broader historical and psychological context. The secret affair between Anne of Austria and the Duke of Buckingham is not pure fiction. It is rooted in historical rumor and the very real political tensions of the age. By examining these real-world parallels, we can appreciate Dumas's genius not just as a novelist, but as a historical dramatist who understood the timeless mechanics of power, love, and espionage. The courts of 17th century Europe were hotbeds of intrigue, where personal relationships and state secrets were dangerously intertwined. The marriage of Anne of Austria, a Spanish Habsburg, to Louis XIII of France was a political alliance, not a love match. She was perpetually seen as a foreigner, an outsider, whose loyalties were suspect. Her real or imagined affection for the charismatic English Duke was therefore not just a personal scandal, it was a matter of national security, a potential vector for English influence at the heart of the French court. This dynamic, a queen with foreign sympathies in a loveless marriage, was a common feature of European royal politics and a constant source of anxiety for spy masters like Cardinal Richelieu. The use of a love token as a compromising object has deep historical roots. In an era before digital communication, physical objects, a letter, a ring, a jeweled token, were often the only proof of a secret alliance or a clandestine affair. The story of the diamond studs echoes the real-life case of the affair of the necklace involving Queen Marie Antoinette over a century later, a scandal that severely damaged the reputation of the French monarchy. Dumas, writing in the 19th century, was keenly aware of this history. He understood that a piece of jewelry in the right hands could be more powerful than an army. The diamond studs are a MacGuffin, a plot device that drives the story forward, but they are also a brilliant symbol of the dangerous intersection of the personal and the political. They represent the Queen's private heart, but they are also a public symbol of the King's wealth and power. By giving them to Buckingham, she is literally handing over a piece of the French state to its greatest rival. Let us now analyze the psychology of our two central male figures in this intrigue, Buckingham and D'Artagnan. They represent two different archetypes of the romantic hero operating within the world of espionage. George Villiers, the Duke of Buckingham, is a historical figure, and Dumas portrays him with a high degree of accuracy. He was known to be incredibly handsome, charming, arrogant, and a great favorite of the English king. His daring trip to Paris is an act of almost insane romantic bravado, but it is also a calculated political power play. He is demonstrating to the French court and to the Cardinal that he can penetrate their defenses at will, that he can reach the Queen herself. It is an act of geopolitical audacity. However, his passion makes him a flawed operative. His decision to flaunt the Queen's diamonds at an English ball is a catastrophic security breach, an act of pure vanity that exposes both himself and the Queen to the Cardinal's schemes. He is a brilliant but reckless player, driven by ego and emotion. D'Artagnan, in contrast, is the emerging professional. His love for Constance is genuine, but his actions are guided by a clear-headed sense of duty and a cunning strategic mind. Unlike Buckingham, he does not let his emotions cloud his judgment. When he accepts the mission, he immediately begins to plan, to assess the risks, to prepare for the dangers ahead. He is not driven by the glory of winning the Queen's favor, but by the honor of completing his mission and protecting the woman he has sworn to serve. His journey will be one of pure tradecraft, a test of his ability to evade surveillance, survive ambushes, and deliver the package against all odds. He represents the ideal field agent, passionate in his loyalty, but cold and logical in his execution. Finally, we must consider the tragic figure of M. Bonacieux as a timeless archetype, the unwilling spy. The history of espionage is filled with ordinary people, clerks, merchants, servants, who are coerced or persuaded into becoming informants. The methods used by the Cardinal are classic techniques. The initial phase is dislocation and disorientation. Arresting Bonacieux and throwing him into the Bastille isolates him from his normal life and makes him vulnerable. The second phase is ideological seduction. The Cardinal reframes the act of betrayal as a patriotic duty, making Bonacieux feel like he is a part of something important. The final phase is incentivization. The Cardinal offers him protection and implies future rewards. These are the same basic steps used by intelligence agencies from the Gestapo to the CIA to recruit assets. M. Bonacieux's story is a chilling reminder that in the great game of nations, ordinary citizens are often the most expensive pawns. He is a man who simply wants to live a quiet life, but is crushed between the two great millstones of the king's power and the Cardinal's ambition. Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive.